Hi friends, it's Marla. I am the curl expert. I am also a natural hairstylist based here in Toronto, and what I do is I help discourage women on their natural hair journey. I help them by sharing natural hair education, having hair consultation services, designing hair care regimens, and also hosting educational virtual workshops. I am on a journey to bring Black hair education to the forefront. Now, let's get into hair typing, specifically hair width. This is the topic of today's video. When we're looking at hair width, what we're really looking at is an individual strand thickness. We're looking at the diameter of an individual strand on the head. Hair width ranges from fine hair to medium hair to thick or coarse hair. So we could all right now grab a strand of hair from your head, and you're going to use your thumb and index finger and hold it, and you're going to roll it in between your fingers, and you're going to feel, can you feel your hair? So if you have fine hair, it's like your hair's barely there. You're like rolling it in and you're trying to feel it, but it's barely there. You can't feel it. Or it's there and then it disappears. That would mean your strands are fine. Now, if you can feel your strands, you could feel them. It's not disappearing. It's there. It's firm. It's wide. It's durable. You could hold it. That would mean you have medium or thick strands. It is strong. It is elastic. Now, another way to determine, I just got the idea because I have my light right now shined upon my hair, and the other test to determine your hair width would be, can you see it? And holding it up towards the light source. So it's great that the background right now is white. So if I was to hold my strand up to the light, now that's what we're all doing. We're holding our hair strand up to the light, and you're looking to find your strand. Now you all could clearly see we can't see my strand. It almost looks like I'm just bluffing. I'm holding nothing. So if this is what you noticed about your hair, we have fine strands. So that is fine strands for you. Now if you're holding your hair up to the light, and you could see the strand of hair, it's wide, it's visible, you're not squinting your eyes, you could clearly see your strand of hair, you would have medium or thick hair strands. Those are the two ways to determine your hair width. Now, I know it sounds a little bit confusing for you if you have medium strands, because I'm not giving you a specific thing to feel for, but no worries at all. The tips for medium strands apply for thick strands as well. So don't worry. Let's get into each individual strand type, what it means for you, and my tip for you. Now, if you have fine strands, what that means is your hair is the most fragile and prone to breakage. So that makes it hard for individuals with fine hair to maintain length because their hair breaks easily. Structurally, it isn't strong. It lacks structure. It also doesn't always have the medulla present. It would usually have the cortex and the cuticle. Fine strands being prone to breakage and not being able to hold styles well. The tips I have for fine hair is, one, you want to steer clear of protective styles, tight holding styles, heavy products. The tight holding styles, the abuse of color, the abuse of heat. Abuse, I mean, is using heat, high heat, more than once a week. That's abusive for fine strands. Fine hair will break under high heat with ease. That's how weak it is. So you want to make sure you have preventive hair care measures in place when you are doing services that you know will be detrimental to the hair in terms of your curl's integrity. You want to see a professional for those services, especially if you have fine hair, because fine hair is fragile. I will not stress how fragile fine hair is. The other thing with fine hair is because it has fewer cuticle layers, it is able to process chemicals faster, and heat will distribute much easily and quickly into fine strands. So that is why you want to maybe go with a lower temperature when you're using heat. And also if there is chemical processes happening, especially when it comes into play with relaxers and bleach, you want to monitor the service. You're not gonna listen to the box that says 40 minutes or go chill and relax. You want to monitor fine strands when it's chemical processing time, because they will process much quicker than some with medium or thick strands that have more cuticle layers to go through. Guys, the only reason I'm looking away is because I have to remember my tips, because I have plenty. Fine strands, we're still on fine strands. Plus I have fine hair, so that's why I have a lot to go with right now for you. Okay, fine strands. Last thing for fine strands. Deep condition. Deep condition like you're mad. Deep condition like you're an addict on deep conditioners. Deep conditioning will help to keep your hair at its optimal health standards in terms of balancing moisture and protein. You need both when you are talking about fine strands. When you talk about any hair type, you need both moisture and protein. But I'm telling fine strands to deep condition. If you could deep condition on every wash day, skip that whole rinse out conditioner business. You could X that out of your regimen and keep the deep conditioners there forever. That will help to keep your hair healthy and protect it and nourish it and give it the best life you can. Now, with medium strands are not too fine and they're not too thick. They are strong and they're elastic. So to some degree, they are resistant to hair damage. They're not as fragile or prone to breakage as fine hair. Although it is easier for you to retain length, you still want to deep condition regularly. Deep conditioning, you can never go wrong with deep conditioning. I love that. That's my favorite part of wash day, and I will preach about it all the time. Now, when we're going to thick or coarse strands, thick and coarse strands, structurally, they are strong. They are more resistant to chemicals. They're more resistant to heat. They are more resistant to damage and breakage. So they do not break easily. The issue arises when it comes to moisture absorption. Thick strands have a lot of cuticle layers. Structurally, they're the strongest out of the three hair types when it comes to fine and medium hair. Thick/coarse strands are the strongest. They're able to retain length better than fine and medium strands. With that in mind, when it comes to moisturizing thick strands, the best tip I have is, again, deep conditioning. The same tip I had for medium density, I would apply it to thick strands. But I would say thick strands need it more, even more than medium density. Because your strands are so thick, your hair will have not a hard time, but it's going to be difficult for moisture to be distributed throughout all those cuticle layers, especially if you're not moisturizing properly. So how do you moisturize properly? Always use a leave-in conditioner first, and your leave-in conditioner should be rich in humectants. Humectants, again, they are the ingredients that draw moisture and water from the surrounding environment into your hair. Then you want to seal. Sealants have a lot of emollients. Emollients are like the oils and the butters in your hair product ingredient list. And that's what's going to work to trap the moisture. So if you have thick strands, make sure that's how you're moisturizing. If you have any hair, that's how you should be moisturizing. But for thick strands, you want to apply your leave-in and then seal. Now, the tip in terms of deep conditioning for thick strands is, no matter what, always deep condition with heat. You're not going to try to deep condition without heat. Deep condition with heat. The heat is going to allow for those cuticle layers, cuticle scales to slightly raise and allow the nourishment of your deep conditioner to enter your hair. And deep conditioners are my favorite thing because the benefits can be felt. You feel it after you rinse out the deep conditioner. For me, the reason why I kind of am not always pushing rinse out conditioners is because, from my experience in using them on my own hair and on other people's hair, is that as soon as you rinse it off, it kind of feels like the benefits, that nice slippage you had in the beginning, it's like gone. It didn't stay. Deep conditioners, I feel like the benefits stay. My hair is still soft, it's supple, there's definition popping. That's what a deep conditioner gives me after I use it. So deep conditioners, I am deep conditioners all day long. So I think I said deep conditioning a lot in this video, so I hope we all got that from that video. Thank you so much for tuning in to this video. I hope you are learning a lot from me. Check out the description box below. I have a link where you could sign up to join my private email list and stay up to date and get the perks of the Girl Expert. All of you do.